offer the best grooming products for you, Yes, all natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be your swagger, your style, class, and luxury. We make our products tailor-made for you with high quality, So get in style with the black, yeah. Grooming company, to give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, in luxury, The black gentleman, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, in luxury,
Located at www.theblackgent.com. Yo. What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman, our Sunday morning call-in for this Sunday, September 7th, 2025. This is number 175 in the series of call-ins as we go about talking about our beloved sport of boxing. And we do this with joy. We do this with anticipation and excitement. And we find a way to have discussion, critique on our beloved sport. I want to say welcome everybody. Good morning to you. I hope you woke up in your right frame of mind. I'm glad that you have decided to partake in the show this morning, because there's a lot to talk about, but a little bit of time to work with. So we're going to have a discussion today, and I hope to field more than a call or two. I would like to really give it a chance to see if we can hear from the people about their anticipations with the fight that's coming up with Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford. You know, we've been hearing a lot of people talk about the fight as we've gotten close. The fight is next Saturday, and we want to kind of get a feel of what people are feeling, what people are thinking, what people are hoping, what people don't want to see, you know, any of that can contribute to the discussion. I'll have a breakdown video that'll premiere on Friday. But there's so much, you know, the card itself is more than worth the wait. I'm telling you, there are some pretty darn good matchups that could possibly turn into great fights when the event takes place, as long as everyone is able to make it to the weigh-in, because you know we have to get across that hump nowadays. There are so many fighters. I don't remember another time in history where fighters were not making weight. That is just unconscionable. I can't understand the lack of discipline in the young fighters of today, but I can attribute a lot of it to guys are fighting at what I've always deemed artificial weights. When you are way down beneath where you should be, simply because you could drop that weight, but then you hydrate, rehydrate, put that excess back on, and you have size advantage, strength advantage, mass advantage. But it still doesn't enhance the skill, does it, huh? We just saw a press conference this week, and coming up on that Keith Thurman, Sebastian Fundora card, on the undercard of that, O'Shaquie Foster and Stephen Fulton. Did you guys see Stephen Fulton? If he didn't come in there with a dad bod, I don't know what that was, huh? He looked like he could wear one of my t-shirts, huh? And Stormybman is 245 pounds. That man is supposed to be fighting at junior lightweight in October. Okay. O'Shaquie looks like he stays within a few pounds of his fighting weight, and that's pretty damn good, because that's how the old guys used to do it. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of examples to be set out here for positive, and a lot of people to set the bar for what is negative, huh? And leave it to me to point it out, because I will. When all of these other people who love these guys who are from their hometowns and all of that foolishness, you know what I mean? You could be from my hometown and still be a clown, huh? Yeah! Yeah. I'm sick of it, man. And Fulton, just because he doesn't make the weight, doesn't mean that O'Shaquie has to fight him. Of course, you don't want to throw your training away and your expenses and all of that, but what are you supposed to do? Just give in and give the guy a shot? Hindsight being what it is, I'm certain that Devin Haney will consider, again in the future, by allowing Ryan to come in that particular, situation, because they had a guy on standby that they could have replaced. And maybe, hindsight being 2020, that's what they should have done for professionalism's sake. Because hasn't Ryan shown utmost of non-professionalism ever since? Not only during the lead up to that, but everything that has come after that, post. Listen, there are some people you just need to penalize for not being on par with what the contracts say, what the rules of the sport say, and so forth and so on. So here we are. But I looked at that and I was just saying, man, he looked like he about 38 years old, just got up from a picnic table and ready to go and get some of that spiked punch. Huh? Did he not? This the same guy when he lost to Inoue, he said, I had trouble making the weight anyway, so I'm going to move up. Then he moves up and he gets dropped in his first fight back. Huh? And everything. But then he started talking about, well, maybe that weight ain't for me. No, I don't think none of those weights are for you, huh? Maybe you need to be up at 175. Yeah. But it is what it is, huh? And we're here to talk about it a little bit. We're going to take a little roll call, see who we got in the building this morning. Then we can jump into the order of business, huh? We ain't got to take too long to do that. Kamaran Fields out there early saying, good morning, Stormy and chat, driving and listening for a moment. We'll definitely watch the replay. Appreciate you, Kamaran. Freedom's March out there this morning. What's good with you, man? I caught you live this morning as well. You were cooking, brother. And you bring some topics that are definitely worth hearing, especially early in the morning. It's like spiritual vitamin, brother. Spiritual vitamin. That's what I call that. What you do, huh? Universal Truth back with us saying salute Sensei in chat. Freedom's March says salute to Queen Sister Kamaran for always supporting. Yes, sir. Coach Hudson also out there, and I caught a little bit of your live as well as I was preparing for this morning. He says salute to the Sensei and peace to the Queen at Kamaran Fields and Freedom March and Universal Truth. Kamara, the stepping razor, in the building saying top of the morning, Sensei in chat. Right back at you, brother. Yeah, my brother Drew Titan out there saying salute in the gym working, huh? We got to get Drew to the buffet, you guys. You know, he be working hard, so we got to feed him, huh? When he's done with his workout, huh? And make sure that you put, plenty of potatoes on his plate, huh? Yeah! Joseph Townsend, the pimpin', in the building with us this morning early saying salute, Stormy. Right back at you, brother. Joe Gagliari is out there saying Stormy salute. And Macadus Mac of the South back with us saying salute to the Grand Master. What's good with you, brother? Accurate is out there saying salute, great brother Stormy. Salute to you. Oh, Joe Townsend, and I apologize that I missed your Cash App during the broadcast yesterday. I guess yours came in a little bit after the other one that came in, and I didn't get a chance to read it. But thank you so much for your Cash App donation for yesterday's live, saying salute. I appreciate you, brother. Joe Townsend. Eric Jordan is back with us saying, Stormy B man, salute. What's good with you? A condo in the building says, I don't go hometown. Hey man, listen, you know what I said rings true, brother. He says, I go by talent and character. There you go. You can't go wrong when you go that way, man. You can't go wrong. Got a lot of people saluting one another now. And yeah, Freedom's March, he says, gotta get that man Drew some ribeyes. Yeah, feed him, man. Yes, sir. And let's see who else we got. A couple more comments in there. Eric Jordan says the buffet. Yeah, get him to the buffet quick as possible. His pulse is fading. In the gym, it's like, oh, something wrong with Drew. He look like he needs some nourishment. Somebody bring what they call it, strawberry Fanta and some Popeyes. Oh man, Drew, he know I'm kidding, man. I like to joke with him about that. But yeah, salute everybody. Welcome this morning. Yeah. I'm sorry, you guys. Sometimes I just crack myself up, man. I don't know. I'm crazy like that. Just be saying stuff. Freedom Mars said, I just got through hitting the heavy bag with some Muay Thai combos. Yeah. Now you're getting ready to hit them flapjacks, huh? With syrup and butter. Tell me about it, Freedom's March. I know the truth, huh? I know. Got to get the emphasis on carbohydrates, huh? Joe says, can't wait for Canelo Crawford. I got Crawford 8 rounds to 4, huh? Okay, Joe. I'm with that. I'm with that, you know. Shoot, man. One thing's for certain. We about ready for this fight. I think the build up and the conversation has been so heavy, it's got people talking crazy now, saying stupid, ridiculous stuff, you know. That's how you know when the anticipation is at its peak and it's just, let's have the fight already. When people start saying stupid stuff like, well, Canelo is going to kill Crawford because, you know, he's not going to be able to carry the weight for 12 rounds. He walks around in the gym sparring 3, 4, 5 guys a day for 8 to 10 weeks, carrying the weight. What are you talking about? I tell you, there's tons of foolishness, huh? You got guys saying, well, Canelo need to win because the Mexicans need this victory. What? And the blacks don't, huh? Man. Tell me you biased without telling me you biased, huh? But then they come on your show, in your chat, and be trying to tell you, oh, you're not fair. You're not, you know, if you don't get out of here, or in the words, I got to get that sound bite. Somebody out there got it. My man, Bill Haney saying, if you don't knock it off. I love that one right there. That's perfect. Yeah. They want you to be fair weather friend, huh? While they kicking you in your butt. Nope. It ain't working. It ain't working. Nah, we ain't doing that. Let me get, hold on. So I'm gonna go ahead and open these lines up. See if we can get some calls. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. Because it's coming up fast, you guys. And also, as a precursor, well, a post-cursor, because Sunday we got another fight, you guys, and that's Monster Inoue defending his undisputed title against MJ, Mirjan Akhmadaliev. And if you guys want to see a barn burner of a fight at the booger weight division, there you go right there. And if Monster is successful against MJ, which is that might be a 60-40 fight in favor of Inoue, then we still got Junto, huh? Yeah, but I think Monster gonna try to duck Junto. Junto is about ready, ain't he? If you guys have watched Junto, Junto has shown us some stuff, man. And he get people up out of there too. You know what I'm saying? So Junto is the man. Let me see here. Joe says, I agree, Stormy. I can't wait for Crawford to shut those people up. Canelo is gonna have a lot of trouble with this man. Okondo says, this is another cherry pick gone wrong by Canelo. Yeah, y'all remember after the Bivol fight what he did, right? He went and got drunk and was singing karaoke, huh? When you seen Crawford drunk, huh? When you seen Crawford drunk? I'll wait. Yeah. Eric Jordan says, MJ got the ninja sword. Joseph Townsend says, Stormy, you see the price of the tickets for Crawford versus Canelo? Cheapest ticket is nosebleed for $700. And that's not a resale either. Hey, man. But this is what it is when you have quality fights. And it's the best fighting the best. Or the elites fighting against other elites. And fights that people want to see. A hot ticket. Huh? That's what it is. They could tell you about these stupid exhibitions all they want to, but don't nobody listen. Life is a circus, huh? Don't you get tired of seeing the clowns? You can open your door wherever you are, USA, and see the circus, huh? Outside. That's why you got locks, huh? And alarms, huh? And weapons. Yeah, huh? Because of the show that's going on 24/7, 365. 1 second, Joe. I have to re-clear that line sometimes when it does that. Yep. Okay, Joe, you can try it now, Joe. Try it now, Joe. Yeah, but yeah, Joe Townsend, those tickets, they be like that when it's the hot sale in town, you know, and that's a must see, you know. There's gonna be a lot of people that say, man, where were you when? You know what I'm saying? And that's what that's all about. Okay, we got 781 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind? And welcome to the show.
Stormy B-Man, Joe from Boston.
Hey, Joe, what's happening, bro?
To you, and I want to say thank. How you doing, brother? I want to say I got to be real quick because I got the dogs and some things going on, but I wanted to support real quick and say thank you to you and Drew.
Yeah.
For all your motivation to me. because I turned my life around. You guys have been a big help getting me through my weeks.
Hey, man.
So I appreciate that.
Wonderful, brother. We're glad that we could help you. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Because again, I say this all the time. We could be on the airwaves and we can be doing a lot of BS on here, but if we're bringing some kind of helpful content, information, something knowledgeable, something to help people, uplift them or whatever, hey, that's what we're here for, man. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. I really appreciate it. I just want to call in and say that real quick and just say how excited I am for this fight. And I don't understand all these people that are saying that Canelo's going to wash him. It's mind-blowing to me. If you know boxing, I mean, that's absurd. I mean, look at, so I'm not saying he's like Austin Trout or Lara or Skull, but the style is kind of, now I'm not as educated as you, but I've been around the sport my whole life, and I have good, better than casual fan knowledge of the sport. So I want to say, like, I believe Crawford's all of those guys rolled up in the one big ball. Like, he's a stylistic nightmare for Canelo. I don't see Canelo beating him. In the power, I think this power is like the same. Because I mean, I think Crawford's all around a better fighter. I don't see how Canelo can beat him. The footwork, the ring generalship, like the shot, the combination punching, like everything. Like I have Crawford over Canelo on every part of the checklist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you know what it is, and I'm going to tell you, and I've been saying this the entire time. When it comes down to Crawford, Canelo has had like 66 fights or so in his career. And even though he has fought some world champions like Triple G, Miguel Cotto was a former world champion. Even Amir Khan was too. Floyd Mayweather, of course. And Erislandy Lara is still in the game strong. And it shows how good he is and was even when Canelo faced him. But he has never, out of all of those fighters, fought a man with the fortitude of the guy he's getting ready to face this Saturday. And that alone is one of the major reasons why I would be picking Crawford over him. He's fighting a different character of man. And that doesn't mean Crawford is the only man out there like that. No, I am not trying to imply that whatsoever. What I am saying is very direct. Canelo, in his fights, has never faced a guy like this. Imagine, like, okay, I'll give you an example. Dimitri Bivol is pretty darn good, right?
For sure. Yep.
If Dimitri Bivol had Bud Crawford's fortitude and temperament, Canelo would have been KO'd.
Fact.
Yeah. Dimitri was content with defeating him on points.
Right.
Bud will try to annihilate this guy when he gets the opportunity. That doesn't mean he's going to go in there and be reckless. You know what I'm saying? It just means that he is like a cunning wildcat, panther, lion in the wilderness. They don't just jump out there and grab you or whatever. They watch you first and they assess when they're going to make their move and everything. And then when they do, they're usually quite successul. That's this man.
I love that. I love how you broke that down the other day, like with the panther. You said you know what I mean, like because people say he's off to slow starts and all that, but
yeah,
I agree with you 100. I agree with you 100%.
And see, when you could see this in fighters. This is why I say things that are not necessarily popular, and people, they be wondering, looking at me sideways or whatever. But this is also a way to look at it when, you know, a trainer is supposed to be able to see these things. You see what I'm saying? A trainer is supposed to see this and make that assessment and say, listen, this is what we have to prepare for. I guarantee you, Reynoso has not evaluated to that degree. He hasn't. The one thing that they have evaluated is they're fighting what they deem a smaller fighter. That's it.
Right. They're banking on that. Right. Right.
And he's a pretty darn good boxer. That's it.
Absolutely.
But he's so much more than that, which is why he's often left people betting against him and warring against him. He's left them in the wake because they've had him miscalculated the entire time.
The entire thing. Exactly. Exactly. Love it. Because everyone I talk to, even at work, and just a lot of these casuals around here that I know, because there's not many like top-notch guys like you, Drew, and the guys online around here, and it just blows my mind like what they say. And it's like,
yeah, you know, and see, I'll tell you something else. When you and notice, like, because all of us have different opinions and everything, even within our community, right? But
right.
Where are we misinforming you? Where are we telling you lies? Nowhere. Even each and every one of us.
I love listening to you guys so much.
Even
like the main
with
reason.
each and every one of us who offer up what we have, we all have our ways of, you know, the execution. However,
right.
We don't mislead. We don't blow smoke. We don't pretend or hedge on things. We're usually very direct. Sometimes in being that way and being true to ourselves and true to our audience, it allows us the leeway to, even if we get something incorrect, we were damn close or spot on or whatever. You see what I'm saying? It's like, and it's not about being right, but it's about representing right. If you are a student of the game, show me that. And I show it all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Damn well do. For sure. For sure. It's great stuff. I have to get going, but it was great catching up with you real quick, Stormy. And salute to you and Drew. Like I said, you've been a huge help to me. I did a 180 on my life. I know it's not going to get into the nitty-gritty of it, but, you know, you guys get the gist, I think. You know, it's just a breath of fresh air to me, man. It really is right now. It's been a long time coming. And,
well, we're glad to be able to help you out, bro. We're glad to be able to help you out.
Listening to you guys 5 days a week, sometimes 6, like, in all the programs and lockups I was at and everything. I changed my life. I'm in the union, labor's union. I don't want to make it about me, but
yeah,
I'm just saying, I'm from Boston. I know Rashidi Ellis. He's from my gym. Well, we used to be at the same gym. Mm-hmm. I was with him last night at the fights, and maybe one night I could get him on the Strong House with you and Drew. And, you know, I'm not going to talk a big game. There's a lot of guys that are, you know, full of it that come on here, but I'm not one of them. But
yeah,
I'll just say that, and we'll go from there. You know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see if I can do that, because I'm pretty close to Rashidi. He's not like a great friend of mine, but we're acquaintances from the gym, and we got along good. So
okay,
if you guys were ever interested,
yeah, that would be wonderful.
Vice versa.
That would be wonderful. Yeah, I'm sure Drew would be open for something like that. Yeah.
Right. Or even you, and we could do both channels, but support you as both. But I look at you guys as one, so it's like
okay.
But all right, man.
All right, man. Thank you for your call, brother. You stay positive, man. Okay.
For sure.
All right. Take care.
Looking forward to the fight. You too, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Peace. Oh, that's wonderful, man. You see, here's another example of being out here doing what we do, and you never know how you impact someone's life in a positive manner. That's what that's all about, you see. And I'm so glad that Joe got up here and he told his story like that. And he didn't have to be totally revealing, but he let us know that because of what we do, he's been helped to make changes in his personal life. And that's wonderful. Positive influences. That's what we're doing out here. So yeah, but and thank you again, Joe, for your call. Appreciate your support. Yeah, you know, this fight with Inoue and Akhmadaliev is really a good fight with two men that are punchers. Mirajan, they call him MJ for short. he has very heavy hands, and also the ability to follow up when he gets opponents hurt. He can follow up and take them out. Inoue is more of a boxer puncher. He's in and out. He's kind of streamlined with quickness and everything. And the fact that one is a southpaw and one is an orthodox, and they are punchers by trade, but experienced fighters by nature. This is really a good matchup, man. It's really a good matchup. Mirajan is a southpaw. Inoue is an orthodox fighter. So that's going to be amazing to see these two guys in there finally getting it on. Yeah. Eric Jordan said, hopefully if MJ don't win, Elijah Pierce get a chance to fight Monster next. Well, if he does win, Elijah could fight him and get knocked out. So what do you, come on, EJ, you know, pick the poison, huh? Might as well get the one that'll get you up out of there quicker. I don't want to take the lesser of two poisons. I don't want to take the worst one. Well, you know what? It's poison, huh? And you're going bye-bye. Yeah! You can't, hey, when you done took the hands off the wheel, closed your eyes, and hit the gas, you can't determine where you're going. You can't say, hey, I think I want out now. No, you got to complete the process. Yeah. Joe Townsend said, absolutely, Stormy. I went to Wilder versus Fury too. I paid a pretty penny for my tickets. Also, there was more people in the building than seats. People standing everywhere. Yeah, man. Yeah, you know. Royal Constrictor, what's good with you? I was watching a replay of this Sandy Ryan fight. Yeah, man. So come on, guys, the lines are open. The lines are open. Can we get some more callers in here? Come on now. That's what the call-in show is for. And also, we got to talk about this fight. I want to hear what you guys got to say. Come on, show some support. Light them lines up. Well, I won't keep a person on long today. We try to get as many calls in as we can. Come on. Gotta make sure, because that line goes, after a while, it just goes kind of dead. Yep, the line is still fresh. So let's go, you guys, let's go. Show me some love out there. Says we got about 25 people watching currently and nobody wants to call in. Rod Neal, what's good with you, bro? Accurate says, that's facts. That's what I notice about Bud. He don't typically miss punches because he always catches you off balance after making you miss. And he punches with accuracy and precision. And He doesn't waste punches. Not a lot of fighters of today can say that. Some fighters are too economical with their punches that they don't punch enough to win on the judges' scorecards. They have to let their hands go more. But you never have to worry about Bud letting his hands go. Bud will let his hands go when he sees openings and he sees opportunities. He goes straight for it, right for the jugular. You mean to tell me there's nobody motivated to call in and talk about this big fight coming up? Joe Townsend, you out there, brother. Why don't you call? You want to tell us, you know, some stories about the ticket prices and everything, what people can expect under those auspices, you know? Let's have a conversation, bro. Joe is asking, who do you have in the Inoue fight? If you already said it, my bad, I missed it. No, I didn't say who I picked yet. I actually have a video coming out this week in my breakdown. That's where I will acknowledge Joe who I got in the fight. I'm not ready to say yet today because I'm still doing a little film study. But because that fight is next Sunday, you know, I got a little time to still figure it out and do my little breakdown. But it's definitely a 60-40 fight. 60-40 either way. Yeah, Coach Hudson, that's what I'm saying, you know. Nobody, you know. You got all these people in here in my chat. The numbers are even going up, but nobody wants to call. And then you get these people, like when someone does call, you get those who try to call while they on the line, and they know I can't take but one call at a time. But this is the story of the clown show. I talk about this. I said you can open your door and the show is going on right outside of your door. Sometimes the show is going on in your own home. For some of y'all, huh? The circus never stops. Okay, we got 470 and calling. Who's calling? What's on your mind?
Hello, Stormy, V-Man, the Sensei, Coach Hudson. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Coach Hudson, you got a bad connection, bro. You sound very far away and everything.
Okay, I'm going to have to call you back. I'm on the road. I was trying to call in because nobody was calling now, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know, we sitting here and people just looking at the screen. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, because you got me on speaker, right?
Yeah. Hold on. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I hear you better now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why nobody calling in. We got one of the biggest fights in the last decade about to happen, and people not fired up like they should be.
Yeah, well, you know what that is. Again, that's a lot of what the truth coming to light, huh? The truth coming to light. There are people who say they support, they say they down with something or whatever, and then when it come time to lay something down on the line, it's like you can't find nobody, you know. That's all.
That's how it is.
That's
how
how
it is, but I am my brother's keeper, so I said, no, let me call in and say something. Maybe my voice will motivate some more people to call in. You know, and something else we might need to start doing, Stormy, is, you know, the days you have your show, when you do these, just in case it gets slow like this, you know, a few of us brothers, we talk during the weekend and be, you know, in the background. So if it does get slow, all of us are ready to call in just in case.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is I only do it once a week. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I prefer to have a conversation rather than even having panels. That's one of the things that you notice that I don't really do panels a lot because that's not something that you know, because I don't believe that with the way that I like to talk boxing, I can get it out of a panel as much as I can out of these conversations, believe it or not. Because I give a person a chance to not only express and articulate their thoughts and things they want to get out there or whatever, but gives them a chance to interact and, you know, make inquiries with me. And then I can, you know, respond in kind. It's like, you see, one of the things is this. When you're able to speak to someone and have a conversation, brain activity is supposed to pick up. You see?
Right. Yep.
On panels, and this is no offense to anybody, but on panels, if you observe and you can watch people, there's not a lot of brain activity happening.
Right.
It's emotion.
Yeah, it's a lot of emotion.
And why is that? I mean, if you have a level of intelligence, you should be ready to respond and offer something positive and things of that nature. But it's like that arguing and saying stuff and being disrespectful and people who can't speak correctly without using profanity and all of that stuff, man, come on, get up out of here.
Yep. Everybody want to be right, you know, instead of actually talking about the science of the sport, which is what it should be about.
Yeah. It's just like when I was talking with Joe a moment ago and I gave the breakdown about Canelo never having faced a guy with the fortitude of Crawford in 60 plus fights. See, where else have you heard that? Now, there might be somebody say, "Oh, that's not true." Look into it for yourself. Research it. Look at how Bud carries himself with his fight game and look at his accomplishments. It's totally different from other people. Whom have you known Bud to avoid?
No one.
Okay. Whom have you known Triple G to avoid?
Triple G?
Yeah.
Shoot, Triple G avoided Ward. He avoided a few people.
Whom has Kovalev avoided?
wouldn't say so much he
Adonis?
avoided them, but
Adonis Stevenson?
do you think he avoided Adonis though?
Yeah. Yeah. I do.
I had to go back and refresh my memory. What happened with that situation with him and Adonis Stevens?
Well, you know, they were supposed to face each other, and then Adonis had this this guy that was his number one contender for his belt, and he kept paying that guy step aside money or whatever. Then Adonis ended up fighting what's his name? Gavaskic, who basically beat him up, and he had a brain injury after that fight. So that took him out of the waters, you know, and you know, it just things went south for him like that. But what I'm getting at in talking about Canelo avoided the Charlos when they were at 154.
True.
All I'm saying is there were opportunities for him to face guys to show legitimacy and to also show that even if you struggle or something, you rematch someone, you give it. The only rematch he had was with Triple G.
Right.
But he didn't give Austin Trout a rematch. He didn't give Erslan de Lara a rematch. Those were close fights. You know?
Would you give him a legitimate win over Danny Jacobs?
Yeah, he beat Jacobs. And I believe that he caught Jacobs in a time of transition. Jacobs had made up, you know, in his mind that I think Jacobs had a price. And if he met that price, he was going to get out of the sport of boxing. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'd never heard him openly discuss it. But if you look at his career and how things went, that's kind of like what he did. Because his biggest payday was Canelo.
Right.
You know? And I think he fought maybe, twice after that? And John Ryder, and that was it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm not going to lie. I think Canelo, because I had Jacobs. I thought Jacobs was going to wash Canelo, just boxing IQ-wise. If you go back and watch that fight, Canelo boxed better against Danny Jacobs, way better than I thought he ever was going to do. But the version of Danny that he fought was not the version I thought was going to show up as well.
Yeah, he wasn't aggressive. He wasn't looking.
Right.
There was one point in the fight where he showed a little aggression, and then he took his foot off the gas and backed off. Do you remember that?
Yep. I remember.
Like there was a silent agreement or something.
Yeah. I don't want to say that. But what I will say is, in the history of Canelo's career with certain black fighters, like Danny Jacobs, like Charlo, it seems to be that we never get the version of the black fighter, the black elite fighter that we think is supposed to show up. Now, I am hoping that Bud Crawford steps up to the plate and proves me wrong. Then, you know, the version that if Bud was to show up and be anything less than as mean and as calculated as we know that he can be, then I would have to submit and say there is a fix going on to make Canelo what he is. But I don't believe that's going to happen. And I believe either two things is going to happen. I think Canelo is either going to stop Crawford, because I doubt they're trying to win by decision. I do think that Eddie Reynoso and Canelo are underestimating Bud. But at the same time, I know that they're not sparring boots to prepare to steamroll Bud. So there is going to be some type of boxing aspect to Eddie Reynoso's game plan. What they have not probably calculated in their plan, though, is the adaptation of a like Bomax. Not only that, I believe that their plan is to put the gas on Canelo early and condition Crawford where he can bring Canelo into deep waters as fast as possible. And at that point, if they have not worked on Canelo adapting to whatever happens, and they're in trouble. Because if anyone has been watching Canelo for a long time, when Team Eddie Reynoso gets in trouble, and that's anyone that he trains, or Canelo gets frustrated, they never adapt. They literally never come back from whatever the problem is. And if Crawford can do anything, it can be something simple as a lead jab from the southpaw stance and switching back to orthodox and turning Canelo every now and then. It can be something as simple as that. If they don't know how to adapt to it, it's going to be a bad night for Canelo. Now, on the other end, Crawford must stay disciplined, even when he feels that he's getting the best of Canelo, because Canelo still will have the ability to knock Crawford out. And that's my honest opinion about these two warriors that are about to fight.
You ready for me?
Oh, yeah. Do you think?
When I spoke earlier about Crawford being different from anyone else that Canelo has fought in his 60-plus fights, that stands. Not even Floyd Mayweather Jr. had the temperament to go in there and violate that guy.
Facts.
Bud is the kind of fighter that if you get out of order, he gonna put you in check. He was doing that when he was a 16-year-old kid ready to take on Kenny Porter in an alley. In the event of this particular fight, size don't have a damn thing to do with this. Power has nothing to do with this. Fortitude and character has everything to do with this. If Crawford went in there and laid down, he will have made a mockery of his entire career.
Most definitely.
By doing so. And there's nothing about him that shows me that that's what he's capable of doing in this instance.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it can't happen, because nothing is 100% but death in this existence. But I've seen enough of that to know that he'll go down swinging.
Most definitely.
This is not Charlo. Charlo had everyone fooled. He never had me fooled, but he had everyone fooled because people were thinking about when they were at 154 and Canelo wouldn't fight him or his brother. But the red light of warning about Charlo should have been the Bud and Spence fight when he got up on that ring apron and told Charlo, after knocking Spence down, "You next."
You next.
All of the wind went out of Charlo's sails in that moment. because
Yeah, it
he
did.
would tell people that were sitting next to him, I don't know what he talking about. We're in different weight classes.
Right.
But little did they know that he was going to leave the weight class that he was at, that Bud was going to come up to, and go on up to Canelo for the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've stated this many times over. He was a dummy for doing that because he was the undisputed super welterweight champion.
Undisputed.
Bud was the undisputed welterweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a legacy showdown.
Yep.
Neither guy could have gotten any higher praise than what could have come next with them fighting one another.
Yep.
And Charlo, in all of his effort to uphold niggerdom,
Mm-hmm.
left that opportunity for true legacy on the table
Yeah, it did.
and sold it all away for another victory for this guy, Alvarez, 2 divisions south, and lost everything as a result. He lost one title when the bell rang for the first round. He lost the rest of the titles when the fight was over. He didn't come back down to the division and defend anything. He just let the belts get stripped away.
Yep.
What kind of man does that? Do you realize the blood, sweat, and tears that he put in to acquire those belts? The punishment that he took? Punches that he took? Pain? Cuts? Injury? And you give it up so easily like that?
For the right price. Sell a soul.
Do you think Crawford is that man?
Most definitely not. You know I don't think that.
Okay, well, now do you see why I'm providing a lane of separation in thought process?
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. I understand it.
Bud was going to fight Fundora. They stuck Errol Spence out there to block it. Even though Errol wasn't going to fight, they blocked it. He ended up having to fight Madrimov because not only was Madrimov a title holder, but he was kind of like the least known of the title holders. But they just kind of say, well, we'll let, and he wasn't a PBC fighter either. He didn't let Bud fight him. And in a fight where Bud wasn't extremely motivated to fight that guy, he did what he had to do to win the fight. He didn't have to put nothing on the line. He didn't have to take any risks. The guy was really dog scared of Bud because he fought Bud in a manner of which he had never fought anyone else in his previous 11 or 12 bouts professionally.
Yep.
Bud put something of fear in him that he wouldn't take the risks necessary to get Bud out of there. And if he had taken those risks, it would have turned into a different type fight anyway. So Bud acquires that title, and they still stall off things. They don't want to allow him to unify and everything. You see, they're playing these games. So when Bill Haney suggested to him, hey, why don't you fight Canelo? That's a fight. That's a good fight for legacy and everything.
Yep.
And everyone wants to talk about Canelo stopping Bud. When's the last time Canelo stopped somebody?
Didn't he stop Munguia?
No.
He didn't stop Munguia?
No, he knocked him down in the second round.
That's right. That went all the way. Okay, when was the last time Canelo stopped somebody? Let's see.
Caleb Plant.
And that's because Plant it's like he just burnt out.
How long
and
ago
gave up.
was that when he fought Caleb Plant?
Shit, what, 4 years?
Talk to me.
Yeah, you all right, Sensei? You teaching? I'm with you. Keep going. I'm with you now.
Let me tell you who has gone the distance with Canelo in that time. Berlanga, Munguia, who else? And I don't have my, I'm not able to pull BoxRec up so I can look at all the names definitively. But John Ryder, I mean, he's been going the distance with a lot of guys. He dropped 2 of those guys, Berlanga and Munguia.
Yeah. Some big boys, yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about Skull, his last fight. Charlo. He dropped Charlo. Charlo got up and finished the fight. He fought Golovkin. Bivol. When he stopped Caleb Plant, that was in November of 2021. I was able to pull my BoxRec up now. Salute to BFTB. I see you out there, BF. How you doing, brother? Yeah, he stopped Caleb Plant in November of 2021. This is 2025, brother.
Thanks. And Crawford getting stronger.
Crawford could have been where he is maybe a couple of years ago. Do you know he spent 5 years at welterweight?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
No, just before saying, yeah, think about that a moment. He spent 5 years at the division. When he first got there, he said he wanted to fight all of the guys. They gave him size of the street.
That's how they did there.
5 years, bro.
Trying to be great.
So in 5 years, he could have gone super welter, middle, and at the end of the fifth year, where he is now.
But shit, Stormy, you see that's how they doing all the elites. They did Devin, well, they tried to do Devin like that. Devin stayed at 135 as long as he could. If Shakur ain't careful, they're going to do him the same way. You know, Booston had to move up. I mean, at some point.
Coach, what I'm trying to get people to see is you calling him the little guy. He's been big for a long time.
Yeah. You right, Sensei, but I'm not even being fooled by that. I don't think that Eddie Reynoso and them are falling into that like we think they are.
No.
You know what I mean?
I'm not. Listen, first of all, I couldn't care less what Reynoso and his cheating camp assess, do, or whatever, because I never gave him the credential of being a coach of the year. I've never evaluated as him having done some great work with fighters whatsoever. When you spoke earlier in this conversation about that man not making adjustments when his fighters get in trouble, I figured that out years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago. And now when you add on top of that BS that he has had every fighter in his camp pop dirty,
yep,
they're riding the wave of success by cheating and by favor. And on the flip side of that, other people are rolling their sleeves up, getting the job done. I pointed out just a moment ago, the man was at welterweight for 5 years. Mm-hmm. When I watched him working out on these behind the scenes shows and stuff that they're doing for Netflix, and even on his own podcast show where he uploads videos about his training camps and stuff, the first thing I looked at was his thighs. I said, damn, Bud got mass in his thighs now.
Yep. Just talking about that this morning.
The thing about that is this. When you're carrying weight in your trunk, that's a solid base, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about, you know, how people used to make fun of Deontay Wilder having skinny legs.
Right.
We are seeing a man who's been preparing for this for a long time.
Yep. About 3 years now.
And I'm going to tell you when he might have originally thought about it. Do you remember when Errol and he were going to fight, and there was talk about the possibility of Errol getting a fight with Canelo?
Yeah. I remember.
Well, quite naturally, when that fight was being talked about, if I'm not mistaken, they were saying possibly a catch weight between Errol and Canelo. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I remember.
So Bud could be like, I beat Errol. Why not me?
Exactly. Yep. They've been working on it. They've been working on it, and I think people they don't understand the actual training part of making a move like this. Like Patrice X and I was talking about this morning, and I was breaking down the difference between the muscle group in your arms, your back, and your chest versus the muscle groups in your legs. And people were like, well, you know, if Bud has all of this mass in his legs, it's going to slow him down. So I had to break it down to the simplest form to them. I had to get into that trainer talk. I said, you all see the Olympic sprinters at the Olympics? Their legs are huge, right? They was like, yeah, Coach, their legs are huge. I said, do you think their legs are huge from lifting weights? Or are these still some of the fastest people in the world? And he was like, well, yeah, you got a point there because your legs are different from your upper muscle groups. Your muscle groups that will actually slow down punching. But when you build those quads, those hamstrings, those calf muscles, Bud Crawford and Bomac are not up there in the mountains for no reason. They are not up there training in the cold for no reason. They are not building the muscle fibers in his legs to come back down and play around. They are building that group in his legs, and they've been building it really hard for 2 years in his legs.
Bingo, bingo. What you just said for 2 years.
Yeah,
though he's been fighting less, he's been preparing
for 2 years,
more.
It's going to be different.
And you don't know. You don't know because they haven't revealed all of the people that he's been working in the gym with. Right. The sparring partners. Exactly. The people that and see, this is the thing. I think I heard Breadman say this.
Mm-hmm.
Breadman said that Canelo bringing in Ennis brothers and Ennis to train and spar with and everything is great because Jerron can give him some looks that Bud can give him by turning and switching and stuff, but they don't fight alike at all. But yeah, that's okay. And he's also had speedy guys in there like Speedy Rashidi Ellis that worked with Canelo for a long time. Before people even knew about that, before we started getting all these nerds who now like want to drop names and stuff of who's been in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But Breadman said this. It's an excellent thing to do when you can hire someone like that and it can help get your guy together. But I think he said this also, he said, Emmanuel Stewart was a very smart trainer.
Yes.
You know, he would hire guys that could fight like Lennox Lewis and don't even bring them to camp, but just pay them to not go nowhere else.
Yep.
So that someone can have an advantage, you know, by, oh, I had this guy and he could mirror Lennox and this and that, blah, blah, blah. There was one guy in particular. What was his name? I can't think of his name right now. But he had that fight where he got knocked out by Derek Jefferson.
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think his name. Let me see.
Well, you got your box rig up.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to pull him up. D-Train, Derek Jefferson, because he had this fight on Boxing After Dark one night, and he fought Maurice Harris. There you go. Maurice Harris could mimic Lennox very well. Maurice was a heavyweight who was 6'4", and he was out of New Jersey. He could box very well, but he could mimic.
That's right. He would
Lennox.
He had an 80,
yeah. He had an 80-inch reach and everything. He could really mimic, and Emmanuel would hire him. When Lennox went into camp, he would hire Mo Harris.
Yep.
Now, what I'm getting at is this: when you're talking about Bud, Bud has never made it prominent about who he spars with and all of that stuff. You hear stuff about him and like Shakur and, you know, stuff like that because they're friends and stuff. But when he's really doing his real work, that doesn't get out. And there's a reason for that. Because it's a need-to-know basis. You don't need to know, and so therefore they're not disclosing.
Right.
That's intelligent. We have no idea. We could speculate whom they've had in the gym to help him prepare for Canelo. I know some people may have even said Lester Martinez, that guy that Bomac trains, you know, probably was in there. Stephen Nelson, you know, Too Cold. He might have him in there because he's a 168 pounder or whatever. But
right.
You can bet your bottom dollar that Bud has been in there with some people that could give him some really good work, possibly even stronger guys from light heavyweight, if not cruiserweight.
No, that's a fact. And one of the attributes that, like I was saying this morning, one of the attributes that Bud Crawford and Bomac have, it's rare that you have a trainer like Bomac that can see a flaw in another fighter in real time that fast and tell his fighter, this is what you need to do, and that fighter be able to execute exactly what Bomac needs him to do. That is why a lot of these fighters, when they go pro, you know, they leave the trainer that's been with them. They leave the trainers that shape them. People have to remember that Bud Crawford has been with Bomac the whole time. And sometimes, just like with Ward and his trainer, Virgil Hunter, when you have a teacher, like let's say the sensei, you're my boxing coach. You have watched me from when I started to the pinnacle and the climax of my career. You know the things I can do and I can't do. You're going to know the things I struggle with and I don't. So when Bud Crawford has been in trouble before, like when he was in trouble with the Mean Machine, Bomac could give him exact instruction and Crawford do exactly what he needs him to do. When you see Eddie Reynoso and Canelo gets in trouble, the whole camp starts tripping. they don't know what to do. So Sensei, you are right in exactly what you're saying. But Sensei, I got to get out here and get back to my family. But you keep preaching, brother. I'm going to be supporting you in the chat.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your call, brother.
All right, most definitely. Salute.
All right, salute. Peace to you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's Coach Hudson, man. A valuable voice in the community out here doing good things. Yes, sir. Black Martial Arts Society. Salute to you, bro. I see you out there. J. Will, Dodge J, Ravens Nation. What's happening to you all, man? Shower Liars out there. How you doing, Shower? Yeah. Joe Townsend, if you're still in the building, man, the line is still open now that Coach Hudson's off. You can call in, bro. Joe Townsend. Love to hear what you got to say. The OG, Mr. Mont, what's good with you? I see you out there, bro. Yeah, but there's a lot that gives people the impression that this is a sudden move made by Bud for the bag. No, it's a calculated risk that he's taken where he has prepared himself in a proper way for it, for the opportunity, for the legacy. What comes of this? See, we spend so much time downing one another, pulling each other down and everything, not giving credit where it should be done and everything, and actually awarding credit and favor to people who haven't earned or deserved any merit whatsoever. That's what's so dysfunctional about us as a society and a small community. And I'm talking about people of color, melanated folk. Yeah. You endorse the wrong things. But see, that's what happened when you be high, huh? That's what happened when you be drinking, huh? And doing other stuff. You can't think proper. You can't put yourself in line with the right things because you're out of line with all this other foolishness. That's real. What's that song? I was doing all right until I got high, until I got high. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's y'all. Not each and every one, but enough to make a damn difference. Look at how long it took for someone to call before Coach called. You're just sitting out there like rubber duckies in a tub, just floating around till you hit the bank, and then you bounce back into the middle of the water and you keep floating around. But you're there. What you there for? Foolishness. opportunity to talk about this is right there. The no one grasp. That's fine. Okay, we got 408. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Welcome to the show.
What's good, Stormy? This Townsend.
Yo, what's happening, man? The pimping. You're in the building. What's happening?
I don't feel like the pimping now. I'm pimping trying to get over this cold over here. But everything shaking was good, OG.
Ah, man, I'm just out here. I was trying to bring a show where we could talk up this fight that's coming up next weekend, man. It's like nobody wants to talk about it. You know?
Oh, man. At least out here in the Bay Area, the fight is buzzing. You know, we have a big Mexican population out here. I got most of my Mexican homies, they go into the fight.
Oh, yeah?
You know, a lot of them, they big Canelo fans. One of my homies, no matter where Canelo's fighting, he goes. Mexico, New York, wherever, he's going. Obviously, he can go to Saudi Arabia. But, yeah, man, they're excited for the fight. I know a lot of people, they don't want to bring up like a racial element, where it's black versus Mexican or whatever. But, you ain't got to do it. They going to do it for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean? Well, so, that they take pride in whooping up on your people. Oh, yeah. Huh? They do.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll rub it in your face, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All my Mexican homies, all of a sudden, hey, what's up with your boy Crawford? I'm like, my boy? What? Everybody knew I was an EJ fan, still an EJ fan, but all of a sudden, Canelo going against Crawford, now he's my boy. I'm like, oh, okay, well, what's up with your homie Canelo? Is he going to be juicing or whatnot? He's going to get a cortisone shot in his knee? What's going on, So, it's the good old banter, but,
right.
They're carrying it that way.
Yeah. Well, more than likely he is going to get shot up with something, because that's what he does.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's what he does. But I know one thing. He got bad tires, huh? They got a lot of miles on them. So...
Hey.
And last time I checked, when a vehicle got bad tires, guess what? It could be all over the road when the weather conditions get slippery, huh?
Hey, Stormy, my family has owned an auto repair shop going on 40-plus years. I know one thing about them bad tires. Boy, he may not be on flats, but they definitely used.
Yep.
And eventually, them used tires, they going to bust now.
That's right.
The point.
That's right.
If you ain't got no tread on them tires, boy, you're going to be slipping and sliding, and you ain't going to be able to stop. You ain't going to be able to go nowhere. And Canelo got some 70-plus fight-year-old tires, so everybody's talking about Canelo being at that weight for a long period of time, but they're not talking about the wear and tear that boxing has had on him,
and hopping around weight classes.
Going up and down weight classes, on and off cycling. On one point, Canelo was saying that boxing is life. You don't use that slogan no more. So it's the wear and tear is real, and Crawford is a guy who takes care of himself. He takes care of his body, and most importantly, he takes care of himself mentally. He lives a real boxing lifestyle. That's why he's been able to preserve himself and have the career that he's had. That's why he's in the shape that he's in.
Check this out. Canelo popped dirty for what?
Clenbuterol.
Uh-huh. And clenbuterol is associated with what? The meat. The right? Meat, right? No, the meat.
Yeah.
Meat, right?
Yeah, the Mexican meat. Yeah.
Well, Bud don't eat meat. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, sir.
Bud don't eat meat. None. Bud don't drink. Canelo was drunk after the Bivol fight.
Well, he's sponsored by, was it Hennessy and something else, isn't he?
Who that? Canelo?
Yeah, he's sponsored by Hennessy, and I think he was in one of those beer commercials when he was on like a golf cart or something like that.
Yeah. What I'm getting at is he has enjoyed all the excesses of life, right? Meaning, you know, he even likes to come to events, press conferences, and weigh-ins and stuff wearing pajamas, silky, expensive pajamas. And you know what Marvin Hagler said about them pajamas and silk sheets. So he getting ready to face a guy, I'm going to say it again, that doesn't have the temperament of all the other fighters that he's fought. He's got a guy that is off the charts with his personal disposition, his whole approach, mentally and everything. Canelo in trouble, man. He in trouble.
Sure.
And the only thing that can take this away is if Bud happened to be like what Coach and I were talking about a moment ago, on the take. But he doesn't strike me as a person as being on the take. He's probably one of the most real guys. That doesn't mean he's an engaging personality that people would love or whatever, because he's not. But when it comes down to this fight game, he is equally as focused and on the money with that as Money Mayweather was. But people don't want to associate the two because they try to separate things. See, what I do is I make the evaluation of like what's true to the core of the person, the individual, the character. He's a winner by nature. It's been instilled in him since he was a young boy.
Right.
And he's going out
Crawford
there.
has been.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, OG. I was saying that Crawford, he felt like he's been disrespected his whole career, and nobody has looked at him as an elite or as a champion, even when he was on a pound-for-pound list. You know, some folks felt like, you know, he shouldn't even been on the list anyway. So now, this is really his moment. He's been building himself up for this moment for him to take the mantle as the best fighter in this era. You know, so, and he's carrying it that way. We see in the press conferences he's getting booed and all that kind of stuff, you know, so his career has always been that way. You know, everybody says, you know, his best win is against Earl Spence. Well, if that's true or not, he's felt like he's beat other good fighters as well. So he's been preparing to take the mantle of, I'm Terrence Crawford, and I'm the best fighter of this era. And this is his moment, and he's training like that, too. He's not training as if he's just going in there for a paycheck. You know, he's not going in there to be in the ring with Canelo to say, hey, man, I'm pretty good, huh? You know, kind of like what Caleb Plant did. He's going in there with a strong game plan, with the mind of a Bomac McIntyre, who's obviously one of the best trainers in boxing, you know, and he's going to go in there and dismantle Canelo. It's going to take some time. It's not going to be a first round, second round, nothing. It's going to take some time, but I believe they will dismantle Canelo as the fight goes on.
Yeah, and you're right in that it's not going to be a quick thing, but it's going to be a slow burn. Just like when you know, put that meat in the smoker and you're getting ready for your grilling date or whatever, and it's in there and it's been in there for several hours and everything, and stuff is falling off the bone. That's what it's going to be. And the funny thing about it is, this is something that Bud has prepared for. I don't think Canelo has. I think Canelo and Reynoso have looked and viewed this as something different, and they're going to attack from a lowbrow point of view. The thing about bringing Ennis in to train, Ennis isn't the only fighter who can box southpaw and orthodox and switch. But to bring that person in, that individual in, as if to say, well, you know, because there are some people who will liken that to like, oh, that's the closest to Bud. But it's not, because he doesn't even fight like Bud. They don't have the same temperament. Their boxing styles are different and everything. But
Right.
he may have done, and I heard one of the coaches say this, it was a very great point. He may have done himself a disservice by doing that, but by bringing Boots in. Because Boots is a young fighter, just about to turn 30 years old if he hasn't turned it already, and you know, banging on Canelo, who's got 60-something fights under his belt. He could have he could have did himself a greater disservice. You understand?
Right. A lot of discouragement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, man, what am I getting myself into?
Yeah. But see, I'm going to tell you this. This is the part that Boots could not emulate. The mentality.
Right.
See, because when they was training and sparring, if Boots hit him a good shot or shook him with a body punch or whatever, Boots, you know, Canelo could step back and they could take a break and they can let him catch his wind or whatever. What you think Bud gonna do?
Keep on going.
Go for the kill.
And that's another thing, OG. A lot of folks are saying that, you know, Bud got that dog in him. That dog gonna get him in trouble. And, you know, I mean, he might get caught because he got too much dog in him, which might be true. But that dog can also break a man's will. You know, I played football my whole life, and at some point, if you got too much dog in you, that other guy, if he ain't about that action, he gonna fold at some point.
Well,
he ain't gonna want it. What they say, no mas.
I'm going to say this
You know what I
about that. I'm going to say this about that. That's another one of those stupid ass cliches that I wish I had never freaking heard, man, because these people of today, they take cliches just like, and I heard 78 say this and he was so right. These fools of today, they take sayings and words that mean something else to make it mean what they're trying to express or whatever, and it ends up just totally messing things up, like the term woke. You know what I mean? What they've hijacked that word and made it mean and everything. It's like, it's freaking ridiculous. But the dog in him, right? Listen, do you realize that someone saying that you got dog in you used to mean that you wasn't shit? It used to mean that. I'm old enough to remember it. Oh, him, he got dog in him, man. Meaning he'll roll over and show his belly. Yeah, that's what that used to mean. Now, to bring it up to speed, for them to say that somebody got dog in them today, that's supposed to mean that a lot of fight in them. And then they equate this, and that's the very thing that could get them hurt. Really? Well, the last I checked, one of the guys who happened to be my favorite fighter, Evander the Real Deal Holyfield, had so much fight in him that people used to not want to raise the stake and threat of the fight in him, because he always had a deeper level to reach. Just like Michael Jordan, when you would tick him off on the court and he'll go off on you. You know, I've heard plenty of the MJ stories, and I'm in Chicago when them teams would come to town and they say little stuff to him. Magic Johnson, and I said this on one of my lives recently. I don't remember which one. Magic Johnson fondly recalled the story when the Olympic team was practicing, the original Dream Team. And they had a scrimmage, and Magic said, man, we were blowing Jordan's team out. You know, we had gone up by 20 points, and I have to tell Michael, I said, Michael, if you don't turn into Air Jordan, we're going to blow y'all off the court.
Jesus. Black Jesus, yep.
He said, what did he say that for? Because he said over the next stretch of a few minutes in the game, Michael got the ball, run up down the court, was dunking on people, was shooting J's and threes.
Yep.
He's like, all I could see was that tongue hanging out his mouth. he going to work. He was like, I wish I hadn't said nothing, you know. But he checked that box on Mike to get that competitive nature in him started. Bud has that.
And Mike sometimes even make up stuff. You even make up stuff just to get him going sometimes. So, yeah.
Bud has that. Evander Holyfield, what many people didn't think and realize about him was the worst thing you could do would be to challenge him in the ring, you know, as a man, you know, because he was always looking to prove himself, just like Bud.
Right.
Because he was doing what his mama told him. He's like my mama say, if somebody hit you hard, you hit them harder. If they hit you 2 times, you hit them 4 times. That was Evander's mantra. He lived by that. And though his mama was strict on him and harsh and teaching, Bud's mom was on him in a different manner, but got the same results. You understand?
Right. Yes, sir.
See, people don't see these things. Where has it been where Bud was in a fight and somebody got the best of him? In 41 wins and 31 KOs, there have been none.
Right.
And now you expect him to let this little Mexican dude, who he knows has been a drug cheat, and shout out to him for not bringing that up during this entire promotion.
Yep.
He could have.
Yep.
But
still got a week left.
But no, listen. But he hasn't done that. But I guarantee you, when the bell rings, he's gonna fight him like he's been a drug cheat. I guarantee you that.
For sure. For sure.
See, that's the thing. You don't know until you see the person tested and measured about what the challenge is. See, we got guys running away from challenges in this era. Stepping to the side, wanting to be your friend, huh? And let's be buddies and hold hands. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Right.
This guy is a man's man, and he gonna go out there and fight like that. We only wish that Charlo would have done it. But as I said earlier in this live, Charlo had a chance at the type of legacy that Bud is going for right now by fighting Bud when he was undisputed super welter and Bud became undisputed welter. That was a super fight to be made between the two of them that no one else can touch, and a legacy could have been built out of that, even more than one fight.
Right.
But he took a different route. You know why? Because it ain't in him. It ain't in him. And you got people out here now, oh, he's coming back. For what? He's done.
Right. Right.
He had the world in his hands. And he gave it up and gave it to that man. And Bud is now going to go and take it out of that man's hand.
Absolutely.
See, it's not even about like, I ride with this one or that one. You should ride with your people. And when you see that your people give up on you or drop the ball on you or walk away from you, that tells you something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somebody might say, well, Stormy, Bud don't, support his people or whatever. Last time I checked, how many of y'all out there was calling him a little black so-and-so and this and that? But you black yourself. Talking about how dark he is. Didn't protest when that picture came out earlier in the week from Ring Magazine. But it took certain content creators to come out and say something about that. Some of y'all was yucking it up. Probably use it on your damn phone as a screensaver or some shit.
Yeah, that wasn't no abstract art, as they say.
No, it wasn't.
Abstract. It's just, yeah,
but we do this to ourselves. There's content creators out here right now talking about how black Bud is and this and that. He's a little black something, this or that. You black your damn self.
Right.
Then you complain, oh, well, he don't mess with black people. He don't want to mess with black content creators. Because look at how wishy-washy you are. Look at how off-code you are. Look at how you don't have no integrity, no ethics. And you expect him to come and fool with you?
Right.
He'll fool with people who will pay him or who will bring him out there where there's a neutral setting or whatever. Because ain't nobody that he's been going to disrespected him like that. Not like y'all's disrespecting him. And when I say y'all out there who know who you are. Them big channels who are constantly always doing stupid stuff. Out there yupping it up with Ryan Garcia and all these other turncoats and these people who have shown you that they ain't got no respect for you. And you ain't gonna do nothing. They tell you in your face. You ain't gonna do nothing. Shoot me if you want to. That's the shit that they say in your face.
Right.
But you'll come and want to shoot me. You'll come and want to troll my chat. You'll come and want to write stupid shit and racist shit on my content.
Right.
And some of y'all black doing all of this. Black.
Right.
Hating on your own people.
Right.
I tell you about yourself. If you fucked up, you're a fucked up individual. I tell you about yourself.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie. But you come around here and you act like you ain't got nothing but chaos. Want to start some mess.
Hey, Stormy, I don't know how Crawford is not for black people. The man got a black coach and black woman and black kids.
Listen, bro, let me tell you something.
You can't get no black. The blackest thing you can do is be with a black woman. We got folks out here who ain't even doing that, talking about who's cooning and who's turncoats. That man got 6, 7 black kids.
Listen, let me tell you something. When he was in negotiations with Arrow for them to have a fight, he wanted to have the fight so bad that he was trying to find different investors and everything because he knew that the PBC didn't want Arrow to defend those belts against him with the opportunity or chance of possibly losing control of the welterweight division.
Right.
But this is the thing. If you like Earl as a fighter, I like Earl as a fighter. I never thought he was I always thought he was a damn good fighter. But why do you not want your two fighters, if they the best, to face each other? PBC has never operated in the best interest of those black men. Look at what they did to Deontay Wilder. He had the WBC championship. Prince Charles Martin had the IBF. They let him go over there to the UK and ransom that belt to Anthony Joshua. And from there on, it was on. If he had fought Deontay Wilder, Deontay has 2 titles now. Undisputed can't happen without him. But they looked at Unified over Undisputed because AJ had 3 belts and Deontay had 1. And that's the game that they played because they didn't want the 2 black men to come together for supremacy and dominance in the division 20 plus years since Lennox Lewis. And they left that off the table. But you see how fast they made it when it was Fury and Usyk? How long these people gonna still? How long these people gonna be stupid? How long? You hating your own folks. Deontay Wilder, when he fought Tyson Fury the first time at the press conference, they're booing him. He's the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, an American fighter. There's like maybe 30 to 50 people who came from the UK to support Tyson Fury, but all you heard was their voices. You never heard nobody applauding and praising and saluting for Deontay, except for us online here with our community, the LDBC.
Mm-hmm.
So what is this? You hating on your own people and you're still doing it. When are these folks going to learn? I would rather go and be away from them all and just it be a few of us in the battle fighting than to have turncoats sitting out there stabbing you in the back. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
And you see it all the time. This is just the latest.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And watch with Bud's success that you're going to see the behavior. And you're going to see that change and turnaround or whatever. Because it's like you can't stop what God has put out there, right? So it's like, what you going to say then?
Hey. OG, it's funny you brought up the Wilder Fury fight. Like I said earlier, I went to the second fight. Man, I never seen so many gypsies in my life. I never knew what a gypsy was till I went to the Wilder Fury 2 fight. That fight was so crowded. There was definitely a lot of Europeans there. There was a whole lot of Sweet Carolines going on. They even booed the national anthem and everything, but there was so many people there. I mean, no lie, there was more people than seats. There was people getting bullied for their seats. You go get something to drink and come back, your seat gone. You go get the usher go, hey, man, this not your seat. And the guy said, well, you going to have to move me then because I ain't leaving.
Wow.
It was one of those kind of events. Even like in the floor area. Normally, on the floor, they want to make room, everybody go to your seat. There was so many people there, celebrities like Magic Johnson and everybody else, they couldn't even get through. They would get stopped and grabbed and asked for autographs because even the floor area was just full of people. Somehow folks got in there without no ticket and they were just there. It was a spectacle. You know, and everybody was going against Wilder. Everybody. So of course Wilder lost. I left before they had Fury raising hands. So I'm walking through the lobby. Random white people, white kids, white men. Wilder lost. I'm just a random black dude walking through the lobby, but they equate blackness with, that Wilder lost. Any black person, Wilder lost. I'm out of the NGM Grand. I'm walking down the strip, random white dudes. Wilder lost. To the point to where, Stormy, I had to get busy on somebody.
Oh, man.
They putting their finger in my face. Oh yeah, I had to get real busy. Welcome to America. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I had to give them some of that good old ancestral rage.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the kind of atmosphere it was. So and another thing that has been discussing with me throughout this whole build-up. Everybody talking about Crawford on steroids and all that kind of stuff, and we see mainly own people pushing this. We have been so degraded as a people to where you're not even proud of your own genetics no more.
Right.
We are so abiding in this society to where you forget that your blackness is a badge of honor. Your genetics is a cheat code that everybody's trying to replicate now, which is why they created steroids in the first place, to try to keep up with our athletic ability.
Right.
Everybody knows that black people have superior genetics. Everybody knows this. Bud Crawford has superior genetics. At 147 pounds, when he was fighting EJ, he was deadlifting 400-plus pounds. That's superior genetics. He has the genetics to where he has the quickness and he can build on muscle and still be athletic. somehow we're extrapolating Bud Crawford's greatness by saying, oh, he's on PEDs. We're extrapolating his hard work by saying, oh, man, he ain't do that. He's on the juice. Meanwhile, we have his actual opponent was busted for PEDs, and they even raised the levels of the usage to where he won't get busted again. But somehow, we talking about Bud Crawford, who's been a clean fighter this whole time, never even popped dirty for nothing. We even have Luis Ortiz popped dirty for damn heart medication. You know, we've had the whole Juice crew pop for every single thing, but somehow we're going to extrapolate our brother's greatness and his genetics by saying he on PEDs. It's disgusting.
It is.
You know, but this is where we're at as a society. Everybody wants clicks, views, and mentions, and be liked by other people instead of being proud of the badge of honor that which is called your blackness. You know, but hey, this is where we're at right now, society. So I hope Bud go in there and beat the brakes off of Canelo, because he, like you said, Stormy, he has the mental stability, has the mental fortitude, the mental toughness. He has that dog in him to where he's not doing all this work for nothing.
No.
Even if Crawford goes out on his shield, he's going out putting in that work because he wanted to win.
Yep.
What Charlo say after he fought Canelo? Man, at least I ain't getting knocked out. What? Negro, you just lost. So you lost, man. At least I ain't getting knocked out. Come on, bro. I mean, this is about competition. Manhood is built on competition and wanting to prove yourself. I keep relating it back to football because I played it for most of my life. You want to go against the same person every single day. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but iron's going to sharpen iron. You're going to make each other better. Only way to find out who's the best team is you're going to have to play.
Right.
We're going to have to play, and the cream going to rise to the top. But you can't find out who's actually the best unless you test your mettle of manhood. The whole purpose of manhood is competition. Back in the days when we were hunter-gatherers, everybody ain't make it. It was no coddling. It was no mental health breaks. It wasn't no holding teddy bears and petting dogs to make you feel better. You had to go out there and hunt, feed your family. And if you don't hunt, you don't feed your family, you gonna die.
Yep.
That's the mettle of manhood that our genetic code is built upon. Going out there and feeding yourself. And if you're not feeding yourself, you're going to get weaker and weaker, and you're going to be turning down smoke instead of running to the smoke. So I commend Bud on this match, and he going to show him why he's the best fighter of this era. And I'm an EJ fan. I don't hate Bud because Bud beat EJ. I commend both fighters for making the fight happen, because I got to see who was the best at that time.
Right.
You know, so that's what sports is about.
That's,
you know,
like,
I remember when Holyfield fought Tyson. Holyfield had a heart issue. They thought that he might get hit in the chest and probably die.
right.
And he went out there and dog walked Mike Tyson. That's the mettle of manhood that we don't have no more. Not just in boxing, but in society in general.
Right. Yeah, man. It's it's something, but it has to be said, and it has to be acknowledged that these very issues that we have is why we falter, and it's like nobody sees that it needs to be straightened out. It's why I say the things that I say sometimes, you know, and I try not to, you know, go in so that it's like sully the whole experience, but it's like you still have to show that what's unacceptable. And I talk about what's unacceptable a lot, because you see some people have replaced ethic and virtue for like just letting whatever the wind blows, being so cavalier about everything. And no, you can't be that way. No. And you can't be a leader. You can't be a leader of a household. You can't be a leader of yourself. You can't be inspiration to anything, being that way, wishy-washy, and you become a villain. I mean, not a villain, but you become a victim for someone who wants to oppress those in that state, put you under their boot.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, OG, I gotta get shaking.
Hey man, I really appreciate your call. You brought a moment of some things that really needed to be said and expressed, and I'm glad you had a chance to do that. Glad I had a chance to open it up for you to do that. So, thank you.
Oh yeah, the tickets. That's right. So if anybody wants to go to the Canelo Crawford fight, the cheapest ticket is $700 in nosebleed. That's not resale. That's the actual ticket price. Floor seats, if you want to sit on the floor and be a big dog, that's going to be around between $9,000 to $15,000 regular price. Now, I've even seen some resale tickets on the floor cheaper than the actual ticket price, but floor between $9,000 to $15,000. A level above that, 2 or 3. The third level is around $1,200, and if you want to just be in the place to be, $700 just to get in the door.
Wow.
So,
that's amazing.
I'll go to events all the time. I live in the Bay Area, so I go to Warrior games all the time. I've been to Warrior playoff games. And I've seen tickets. High price tickets, especially if the Lakers and Warriors play. You're talking about, a good $1,000 just to get in. But yeah, I mean, I was just curious to see because I thought about going, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and sit this one out. I'm gonna go ahead and watch the game at home. You know what I mean? So
right.
Watch the fight at home. So.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that information, man, and thank you so much, Joe Townsend, man, coming in and supporting the show like that, man. Oh, by the way, I'm glad I had a chance to meet you, man, when we were all in Vegas. So that was, pretty cool being able to put, a person with the name and everything and to chop it up with you brothers, man. It was great stuff.
Sir.
So I look forward to the next one.
Vegas was a good time, even though it was 110 degrees in the shade. We all were burning up together.
I know, right? It was like, man, that was an experience. I'm gonna tell you, because I ain't never been nowhere where it's that hot like that, man. It's just hot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just like hot. It's funny. To describe the heat is just like when you say hot there, it's like it means a total different thing.
Oh yeah.
It means a total different thing. Because the highest it could get 100 here on a rare occasion, maybe once every couple of years or something. But doggone it, man! And what was it at nighttime? Like 98?
Yeah, something like around 98. Yeah, I mean, in the Bay Area, Stormy, where I'm at. The hottest it got this summer was maybe 95 degrees, maybe for like a day or two. It's normally around 78 to around 82 degrees with a nice, he got the doors and windows open, no AC needed.
Right.
But if you go a little more inland to like a Sacramento or whatnot, during the summer, it was always around 100 to 105, 110 degrees, but yeah, going from a good 82 degrees to a 110 in the shade. Now, where we were at, it was 110.
I know.
If we went back to, like, downtown Las Vegas, it was like 115.
I know, bro. It's like, and what's funny, too? Like, I stayed hydrated, right? I was constantly drinking water. Right. But, like, okay, and I can only say this because of my own personal experience. If I was drinking water like that here back in the Chi, dude, I would be running to the toilet every 15, 20 minutes or whatever, right? It's like, but out there, it's like your body absorbs the water.
It's like a sponge. It's
Yeah,
just
it's like
all in.
suck it all up, and he's like, I'm still drinking. It's like don't even got to go to the washroom.
I don't remember using the bathroom at the meet and greet at all. I don't even remember using the bathroom. Yeah,
that's right. What I'm saying. It's like that's how you know that's a different type of heat, man. It's like shoot, boy. Yeah. It's like pouring water on a hot skillet and it goes, and it just evaporates. It's like
like being in a constant sauna all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
But hey, I had a great time though. I really did, man. And I look forward to the next one. But yeah, I know you got to go. But, you know, thank you, man, for calling in and supporting the show. We're going to get ready to, you know, wrap things up. But I really appreciate your conversation and what you had to share, man.
Likewise, LG. Enjoy your Sunday, and we'll talk soon.
All right, man. Peace to you.
All right, peace.
All right. It's the brother Joe Townsend, man. Yeah, it's been a pretty good show. We had a long spell there where nobody wanted to call in, but we finally overcame that, which is a good thing. Because I'll tell you something, man. We have to, if you want to support something, you have to show. Your actions mean more. You know, you have to show. We got to do this. So, but it's going to be time to wrap things up here. But before we do, we're going to hear from my man, the Focus Ball. You know how we do it, the Focus Ball.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah, so that brings us to the end of another Answering the Bell, man, our Sunday morning call in. I want to thank everybody that came out. I want to thank those who called the show, Joe, Coach Hudson, and Joseph Townsend. Appreciate you guys. Believe it or not, even it was three of you that called in. This is why I do what I do. I do it for you guys to have that experience, to be able to have your voice out there, and for us to be able to have conversation on our beloved sport of boxing. So with that being said, we look ahead to next weekend where the big fight is coming up. I'll have premieres all throughout the week featuring the fights that are on the undercard as well as the main event, and also Sunday's bout with Naoya Inoue as he takes on Murodjon Akhmadaliev, MJ, in a battle between two of the little guys down there and super bantamweight, and we will enjoy that. So I'm going to be signing off for now. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace to everybody. Enjoy your week ahead.
Jessica, what are you doing? Get away from the water, Jessica. Jessica, get away from the, oh my God. Somebody help Jessica, please. Yes, swim. Go ahead, Jessica, run. Jessica, no. Oh my God. No, Jessica. No, the water is pulling her back in. Where's the lifeguard? Lifeguard, hurry up! Can't swim! Jessica! Lifeguard, please save her! Yes, do lifeguard! Save her, no! Please, Jessica! Hey! That somebody's coming! Oh, you want Hey, please! Save her! Jessica! They're coming now!